Hi, I'm Eugene, and you're just in time for your morning review. I selected 3 stories to look at and think about, so you don't have to, but you're probably going to hear about them sometime today. The 3 stories you're probably going to hear about today involve the State of the Union address, the United States Postal Service, and what would a morning be like without a Samantha Guthrie update. Right off the bat, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the real elephant, the Republicans, Donald Trump specifically, and the State of the Union. I watched every bit of that speech last night, and here's a few of my thoughts. Number 1, it was long. The longest in history, they say. And number 2, as time goes on, these State of the Union address seem to be more of an extended commercial. They're really long. Donald Trump's State of the Union address was supposedly the longest in history, but of course it was. Mr. Trump delivered it. The speechwriters did a really good job incorporating everyday Americans into Mr. Trump's speech. There were stories of sacrifice and bravery. Among those in attendance were the United States men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. There were also representatives from the armed services and the National Guard present at the speech. Aside from the length, this address is probably going to be noted for who wasn't there. Many Democrats chose not to attend. Somehow they believed their silence was golden. And many of the Democrats who chose to be there just sat there. They sat there while Mr. Trump talked about Americans, everyday Americans, and their acts of bravery, and some Americans who tragically lost their life at the hands of an illegal alien. There were a few of those. At one point, Mr. Trump asked the delegation to stand up if they believed that American citizens should take priority over an illegal alien. Surprisingly, most, if not all, of the Democrat delegation that was in attendance chose to sit down. At one point, Mr. Trump specifically targeted the Somalis in Minnesota. I thought Mr. Trump and a couple members of the squad were going to get involved in a good old-fashioned smackdown. All in all, I'd have to give President Trump's performance at the State of the Union a B+. But more importantly, what did you think about it? Now let's move on to my second story, which involves the United States Postal Service. The United States Supreme Court handed down a 5-4 decision involving the United States Postal Service. The 5-4 decision involves a law that shields the United States Postal Service from lawsuits involving undelivered, damaged, or mishandled mail. This case involves an African-American landlord who claims that the United States Postal Service intentionally undelivered her mail for a period of 2 years. Instead of thanking the Postal Service for not giving her all of that junk mail throughout the 2 years, she decided to sue the post office for not giving her mail. She claimed there was a racial bias involved. Justice Clarence Thomas wrote the majority opinion, and 4 other conservative justices joined in the analysis that the law that was used to shield mail carriers from unintentional damage or mishandling of the mail also extended to intentional acts of mail carriers. So I guess if a mail carrier chooses not to deliver your mail for whatever reason, even a bad reason like racism, you can't sue them. Maybe I can get my mail carrier not to deliver my mail. I promise I won't sue. And finally, there's an update on the Nancy Guthrie front. It seems as though now Nancy Guthrie has decided to loosen up the purse strings and offer a $1 million reward for the return of her mother. By now, it seems fairly clear that her mother is probably not alive. So the question becomes, why didn't Miss Guthrie and her family pony up that $1 million while her mother was probably still alive? Instead, they do it now. It's a little bizarre. And it seems as though the family is blaming the sheriff's department yet again for the advice they gave her not to offer a large reward. If you like these morning updates and want to see more of them, drop a comment in the box set your notifications, and just generally let me know what you think.